Having inhabited the same palaces and mansions over centuries, it seemed logical that the British royal family would have accumulated some ghost presences along the way. Next to London's Hyde Park, Kensington Palace has been a royal abode since the 1600s. Now home for 15 high-ranking royals, it is known to have its share of hauntings throughout the sprawling complex, and indeed is rumoured to be cursed. At least 7 princesses in problematic life situations are known past residents, including the ill-fated Princesses Margaret and Diana, who both lived lonely lives there before their untimely passings. King George I is said to have decreed that portraits of valets, maids and even infants festoon the king's great staircase in Kensington Palace, seemingly in desperation to dispel the ominous stigma surrounding the royal residence. However, Princess Diana's biographer, Andrew Morton, has expressed a concern about the new royal baby's ability to sleep peacefully in the official palace nursery, apartment 1A. It is an area which is notorious for ghosts and is called the Haunted Nursery. As dictated by long-standing tradition, the newborns, George, Charlotte and Louis, have all slept in the nursery, and no attempt has ever been made to exorcise unwanted spirits. An insider has reported that Kate and William are quite happy about their babies occupying the space, and they themselves have never noticed any creepy phenomena, and ghosts are said to pervade the whole complex anyway. The nursery is reputed to be regularly haunted by 3 resident spirits, those of King George II, Caroline of Brunswick and Princess Sofia. The German-born King George II passed of heart failure at the palace in 1760, when aged 77. He has often been seen staring out of a window from the palace and heard to mutter, "Why don't they come?" his last words as he awaited an emissary from his native Hanover. King George IV's ostracised wife, Caroline of Brunswick, is also said to inhabit the nursery and surrounding palatial hallways. Witnesses report that Queen Anne can still be heard at Kensington Palace, weeping for the loss of her children. In 1702, she ascended to the throne of what then became known as Great Britain. She had undergone 17 pregnancies, from which only 1 child had survived, her son Prince William. However, William had tragically expired on his 11th birthday from an unknown illness. Although reigning for the next 12 years, the heartbroken queen was chronically unwell, meeting her demise in 1714. Another common Kensington presence is known as Peter the Wild Boy. This young waif had been found living wild in the forests of Hanover, Germany, in 1725 by King George I and his hunters. He was brought to London a year later on the instruction of Princess, and later to become Queen Caroline. The boy had been abandoned and is now thought to have suffered from Pitt-Hopkins disorder, which causes intellectual impairment, distinctive facial features and breathing problems. The spectre of Peter the Wild Boy is still seen roaming the king's staircase at the palace. Princess Sofia was another lonely princess who passed in Kensington in 1848 and is also said to haunt the nursery. She is reputed to have had an improper relationship with her brother, the Duke of Cumberland, and was in love with the king's chief's equerry, bearing an illegitimate child in 1800. She was blind for the last 10 years of her life, and witnesses still claim to hear the pervasive sounds of her spinning wheel, though there is none in the palace, and even to have seen an apparition of her sitting at the wheel. Some of the Kensington Palace ghosts are of unknown identity. When residing in apartment 1, Princess Margaret was once told by a housekeeper that a woman in a regency dress had suddenly appeared in front of her and then dissolved through a wall. Princess Margaret was said to have a regular ghostly companion dubbed the Blue Lady. A man wearing old-fashioned white breeches has been seen walking in the courtyards, and the long-suffering security guards in the palace regularly experience spine-chilling phenomena. One saw a man running downstairs in the middle of the night and disappearing, although the carpet had moved beneath his footsteps. Another saw two small children playing in a room, but also vanished as he approached them. Another report was of a woman in elaborate period royal regalia who mounted the stairs and then turned and smiled at a guard. She continued walking up the stairs but was nowhere to be found, although there was no upstairs exit. Sounds of disembodied voices and crying babies are common, and one guard reports being tapped on the shoulder by an invisible hand.